Hello and welcome back to Random Encounters Guild. We are once again darkening our blades with the Carrion crew this evening. They just narrowly escaped a harrowing social encounter where our completely socially inept Barney nearly just by the skin of his teeth made it out by reciting poetry.
MVP, MVP.
It was a
Barney
weird
is not a
time,
happy
but a
camper.
fun time, and now you guys are out of the party. You have had your not champagne because France doesn't exist in Duskfall. You have taken your cart of your bartending cart out with all of your stolen goods and cash and such. You were accosted by someone who did not say what group they were with and demanded that you do something for them in return for payment, basically, for losing their asset, Carove, who can no longer be an asset to them. He's retired now. And we ended with a little bit of a lover's tiff on the gondola on the way home over whether they were going to keep an extremely cursed occult item to match the extremely cursed occult item that they already have at home. So let's get into this. Introduce our scoundrels for the evening. Hello, scoundrels. Let's start with Scott number 1. Who are you and who are you playing?
I am Guildmaster Scott. I run things here over at the Random Encounters Guild. And I am playing Eddie the Hawk Hawkins. He is a cat burglar who is not comfortable with supernatural things.
You're in the perfect crew. Scott
He's
number
never
2.
been comfortable with it. That's the thing. And he's been stuck in it for like over a year now. He's never been comfortable with it.
I'm Scott. I'm playing Barnabas Fisher, the Whisperer, who is into heavily occult items and is extremely stressed out because he's been forced into social situations he does not like. Brandon?
My name is Brandon. I am playing Sebastian Vale, codename Vale. It's very clever. He is a slide, and he's also into the supernatural, creepy, and bizarre. And he is a +1 enabler. I think that he's established himself in the crew. And he didn't get a trauma for the first score ever, which is very exciting.
I will try harder next time.
I was about to say, you've done it now. Now you put a target back.
He says that, but I mean, the truth is, I'm a pushover, and Brandon's doing all the heavy lifting, hard work of actually getting his character as hard as he can to try and end up in a ditch somewhere.
This guy's ending up in a ditch. It's happening.
Yes. So, but you're not in a ditch right now. Right now, you're in a gondola with your friends, and you guys are arguing over things. The last I heard, it sounded like you all agreed to bury the masquerade mask, but then Barney had plans to secretly, in the dark of the night, come back and exhume it. Is that
absolutely
okay? Excellent. Okay, so as far as everyone else is concerned, the mask is dead and buried, and it can't hurt you any longer. So we have no need to worry about any of those things. Which means we can move on to our crew phase, post score, and deal with all our stuff. Now we're trying to use the new deep cuts rules, but one of the things we were talking about before the stream started is that we're probably, because we have such short sessions, we're not going to do like Fallout on screen. Doing a faction turn just feels like it would kind of take up a lot of time. So I might do faction streams at some point, but for now that's sort of just like for me to know and you to find out. So don't worry about that at the moment. However, we do need to move on to heat. And you kind of, let me see. The way you assess heat now is multi-pronged. There's base, target, chaos, death, witnesses, rather than just like low heat, medium, rare, and well done, I guess. So let's just go through the list here and look. Base heat. Was it smooth, low exposure, or a standard criminal operation? I
Definitely,
feel
at
like
least
it went
standard.
pretty smoothly.
Well, except that it was taken notice by a certain gang leader that our crew was
A
working.
couple of
the
people
scene.
Yes.
laid eyes on us. So.
Had that not
so
happened, I probably would have said yes, smooth. But
Barney was noticed for sure. But the operation was not noticed. So that's a bit of a technicality in the wording here. Barney, people made notes. But when you left, nobody knew that the vault had been robbed. And as far as I'm concerned, that is the score.
Okay.
Because that was the illegal illicit thing. So on that, I'm going to say that was 0. And then +1 heat per crew tier. You are still tier 0, I think. So none there. +2 for a high profile or well-connected target. This target, I would say, is pretty high profile. She specifically, Lady Whitethorn, is trying to make herself high profile. That was the point of the salon. That was the point of having all the famous celebrities there. And well-connected, and that's how she got all the celebrities. So I'm going to say that's 2 heat. Chaos, +2 for open combat, destruction, or mayhem? No. +2 if you're at war with another faction. We're not. Don't worry about it. So those are good. We're still just at 2. Did a death occur in connection to the score? You guys didn't kill. I didn't think so.
No.
Okay. So still just 2. And then witnesses that can be questioned or if specific crew members were identified. They know that you're there. So I am going to say that there are witnesses to your presence.
Makes sense.
Now, if the blue coats showed up and asked Bazo Baz who was there and what was happening, I don't actually think that he in particular would be like, yes, officer, here's a list of everyone. He doesn't seem like that kind of guy, but like maybe it's a favor or something. You never know. But yes,
But certainly
specific
Lord
crew members
Whitethorn
were
knows who
identified, so
attacked
that's
him.
+4. So that's 6 heat.
No,
Just like-
we were. Whitethorn doesn't know who we were.
Okay.
We told him we were bankers from
Tykeros.
Tykeros. Yeah, we were dressed up and like.
Bazo knows who Barney is.
Yeah, but he was saying Lord Whitethorn would know. Now he might recognize our faces if he saw us again.
I see.
But he doesn't know who we are, where we came from, or that we were there as waiters. Like we approached him dressed in different outfits, and as far as he knew, we were bankers from Tykeros. So,
And my assumption, I don't know, is that it would be very bad for business if Lord Whitethorn let it be known that his own vault was broken into, as he's trying to sell these vaults all across Duskwall. But if he's not, we could blackmail him.
There's always that. You are literally just leaving for the evening. So until we get to entanglements and payoffs and yada yada yada, right now everything is peaches and gravy. So we'll get there when we get there.
Peaches and gravy.
Yeah. So that was 6. You guys already had a couple, so I have now updated your heat. You have 1 wanted level and 1 heat left over. Payoff. I already calculated the coin I told you about based on this payoff rule of coin per PC plus target tier, yada, yada, yada. So I don't remember what I said, 8 or 9. It was in the chat. I have it written down on my notes from the score. But whatever I said last time is true.
9.
9.
And so one thing that is different, by the way, in the new blades is that the I read that vaults are not exactly the same as before, so the new vaults have more slots in them than the old vaults did.
Okay. According to the new deep cuts rule, if we buy 2 more crew upgrades, we're eligible for a tier advancement, and we have enough coin to do that right now.
Yeah, you have a good bit of coin, and you also have a wanted level, so trying to take all of that coin to the bank isn't going to work at the moment. So that's exactly what I was going to say, is you should probably think about spending some of that cash. Also on the list here for payoff, I always forever forget tithe. I don't even remember who it is you're supposed to tithe to in the docs,
No
because
idea.
I think I've literally never remembered. Does it say on the sheet?
Cruise sheet?
Whatever. It doesn't matter who you're tithing to. I don't care. If you're tier 2 or lower, pay a tithe to your ward boss equal to 1 coin for every 4 coin you earn from the score. Which I think you earned 8 or 9, so that would be 2 coin is your tithe to whatever your ward boss is. If you can't or won't pay, you can potentially go into debt. You can accept a favor instead, or you can try and kill them or rebel or whatever.
Mm-hmm.
So we knock the 9 down to 7.
If you're being good, yes.
And I don't know, maybe there's been shenanigans happening behind the scenes in Duskfall. Maybe there's a new ward boss. Maybe it's Bazo.
Mm-hmm.
It wouldn't be Bazo in the docks, but they're...
Let's come up with a boss before next session.
Come up with a boss.
Come up with a boss.
Yeah. I can look at my list of factions and see if there's anybody who's already in there.
That's fine.
But if not, I have an idea of who it might be. But anyway, right now, for this exact moment, it sounds like you guys are just tithing.
Yeah.
Cool. And we're pretending that we've done this the whole time, because me forgetting doesn't mean that you need to lose all your coin all at once. That's my bad. Your boss needs to keep track of his receipts or her receipts or whatever.
Well, that's why I think we should just pay the 2 now, because we haven't paid it before. So it's like, yeah,
there we go.
Let's just pay
and
it.
Then rep. 1 rep for every 2 heat generated by the score, plus 1 rep per tier of the target above the cruise tier. So you guys generated 6 heat. So that's 3 rep. Let me look up real fast the...
White thorns.
Yes, the white thorns.
Well, our rep counter is 2 away from full. So I assume that we'll be getting at least 2. And then the rest of it is, we can't bank extra.
So, yeah,
our rep counter is full. Those last 2 are for turf.
Oh, do we have 2 turf or 1 turf?
There's 2 spots for it. All of our rep tabs are full.
You guys used to have 2 rep, or I'm sorry. I was looking at rep still. You guys used to have 2 turf, but one of them in an entanglement got taken away.
Right.
So you only have 1. You lost your fence picket.
Right. So that should be, good.
So you
Perfect.
only have secret pathways right now.
Mm-hmm.
There it is.
Okay, cool.
The white thorns, this was a tier 2 situation. So let me get back to where I was here. Plus 1 rep per tier of the target. So that's another 2. So 5 rep total is what we're talking about right now.
I'm just gonna say that maxes us out. So
We're at max regardless. Doesn't really matter.
Yeah. Okay. I don't remember what happens at max rep. I don't
max
think I
rep
have that
means-
in here yet.
Max rep means that if we have enough crew upgrades, we are eligible to tier up. at that point.
Gotcha. Okay, so this will be
Um,
the part where you guys want to. Well, we have to look at entanglements first, but after that, we'll get into development, and then you guys can do your XP upgrades, all that stuff, and then maybe you'll be able to go up a tier.
Mhm.
That would be
Yeah,
nice.
maybe. Yeah, that'd be nice. Eat a little bit better.
A little bit. If the crew's heat is 6+ or when the fiction demands, and you have a wanted level, so I feel like that's above 6.
Yep.
We can bring an entanglement into play. And there are a number of options, as you guys can see on the list here. Some of these are the standard ones from the books, and some of them are options that other people in the Blades in the Dark Discord had suggested, and I thought they sounded good, so I went ahead and added them to our list. But I actually have something specific that I think happens because Bazobaz knowing who you are was a consequence of poor rolls, and if nothing happens with that, then you basically had no consequences. So I think what makes sense to me is that Bazo comes to pay you a visit, and then asks you for a favor. Basically, is the entanglement here. I'm not gonna. Basically, Bazo comes up and is like, at some point, you guys are on the docks, and he's strolling across a bridge and sort of like does some kind of like secret knock or something at the top of the bridge that like someone is looking for you, and then it's Bazo, and you're like, who told him? How did he know who gave him the? Okay, yes, great. Hello, Mr. Baz. And Bazobaz, for those of you who don't know, is the leader of the Lampblacks. They're a pretty famous, infamous gang. Heavy hitters more so than you. And they really don't like the Red Sashes. You, in the past, have also had spats with the Red Sashes. You, me, may or may not have burned down one of their warehouses with a Molotov cocktail. So, they aren't, the Red Sashes are high enough tier above you that, like, you got in trouble with them, but it's not really a war situation because, like, you're just very small potatoes to them.
We're insignificant, yeah.
Yeah, but the Lampblacks are significant, and this back and forth has been a thing for a while. Bazobaz considers himself a businessman and a gentleman, and would like to be above this petty squabble with such a petty gang. So he wants to move the Red Sashes along, so to speak. So he found out about Barney and went, oh, someone else who's been a thorn in their side, but is expendable to me. I love that. Let's go say hello to my new expendable friends. And he is going to politely ask you to get something for him from the Red Sashes. There's some information that a particular person has in a particular area. He gives you the details. We'll deal with it later. That is of interest and importance to him, and he is going to need that information sooner rather than later.
I think that's something we can do.
And he very gentlemanly, calmly and kindly explains to you that if you can't do this one thing for him, then you are of no use to him. Have a good day.
And to you, sir.
Take that as you will. So that's your entanglement there.
I
So
got a
now
real
we
problem
can
with
move-
all these jackasses knowing where our boat is and coming here and threatening us.
All the time.
This is a thing that needs to stop.
Now you do have one of the upgrades that you have is hidden, and if it was someone lower tier than literally Bazobaz himself, I wouldn't have said, yeah, he just shows up at the boat. But the people that keep showing up are like an ink rake whose job is literally to know everything about the underworld. And Bazobaz himself. Like, yeah, there are certain people that, even though you have hidden,
they know where it is. Yeah,
they are better than you. But random thugs are not showing up at your place.
Mm-hmm.
And random demons and ghosts are not showing up at your place, except the electroplasmic eel, which follows you guys around, but like almost as a pet at this point, because you're warded against it for now. So like you're doing great so far. Anyway, did we do crew XP after? No. Okay. Nope. My memory is very bad when I'm not medicated. So let's see. Crew XP. Did you execute a successful burglary, espionage, robbery, or sabotage operation? I would say yes.
Mm-hmm.
I think so. I'm actually going to give you 2 for that one because you did a burglary and you also did a little bit of sabotage, because Barney specifically, who does not like the burner, started spreading rumors about him and his team.
Skog. Yes.
Yeah. About Skog and the team. Like, you successfully planted some trouble for other people. Well done there. Did you contend with challenges above your current station?
Yep.
Everything's above our current station.
That is the one thing about being tier 0. Yeah, so give yourself 1 for that. Did you express the goals, drives, inner conflict, or essential nature of the crew? And I'm going to say yes. What I'm thinking of specifically is you guys fighting over whether to take the mask, whether to leave it, whether to bury it, whether to keep it. Like, that was a conflict definitely between the crew. And I do think it's funny that goal-wise you were like, let's go to this party to gather information. And the second you got there, you were like, so the information we want to gather is actually called how much coin is in the vault. That's the main information that we want. It feels very on brand.
Uh-huh. We didn't burn it down. We did not start a fire for once.
That's because I was not one of the players. So yes, well done on that. So there's your crew XP. Now we move on to upgrades. Do you have thoughts?
I do. Looking at it,
to buy 2.
Yes, I think my math is right. I'm looking at this right now on Deep Cuts, and it says in order to advance from 0 to 1, we must possess 6 crew upgrades and at least 1 cohort. We have 1 cohort. I believe we have 4 crew upgrades right now.
Yep.
4, correct. So you need 2 more.
We need 2 more, and they come at different costs as well, either 6 or 10. Depending on what. So I think we have 15 coin right now, if we include what's in the vault, right? Mm-hmm. We have 4 in our coin stash, 4 in the vault, right? And then we just got an additional 7?
7.
Yeah. So that's 15. So we could do 1 10 coin upgrade, like something like making our place secure, or we could get the quarters upgrade, which would allow us to make the boat our homes, so we're not going back to our ramshackle apartments at night and being vulnerable and all of those kinds of things. And then some of the cheaper ones are things like thieves' riggings. We could upgrade our cohort to an elite cohort or something like that.
The part that I don't understand, does turf count as an upgrade for the purpose of like tier advancement?
I haven't read that, but that makes sense to me.
I didn't read that either, but it feels like it should. Like, if you are sitting here and sure, your lair doesn't have crew quarters, but you have informants and fences and taverns and drug dens, I feel like
That should count.
that seems to me like it should. Maybe if it does, they would need to adjust how many upgrades is from what tier to what tier, and I respect that, but for the moment, honestly, I feel like we can count. You have one, right? It's not even like it's a huge deal. It would just be adding one. So you need one more upgrade, quality, layer, cohorts, turf. And I say it that way too because I feel like if you were to spend money to buy, I realize that turf is usually like a score or something normally, but some of these just say turf. Like if you wanted to come up with something, or if you wanted to buy in or use it to buy a small drug den or whatever, and then like just own it, I feel like that could count as an upgrade just as much because you're still using the coin to get it.
Yeah,
I like secure.
I think everybody here's excited about that.
I like secure, and I like I think training resolve might be a good idea.
More training facilities.
If we
Good
do
idea.
training in resolve, we get 2 XP when training resolve during downtime instead of 1. We've already got prowess in there.
Yes.
Either that or one of the quality,
One of the
quality
different
supplies
qualities,
or gear or documents.
Those are also all 10 coin as well.
What's secure?
Secure's 10. Secure is 10 and quarters are 10. I believe there's 2 secure, right? Each one would be 10.
Right.
And
So
I assume
basically
it's more
on the
secure.
crew sheet where you see the box that's like gray that says crew upgrades, those ones are the 6 and coin. And then anything below where it's black, where it says like layer, training, quality, those ones are the 10 coin.
Yeah, that's a good way to put it.
Oh, okay.
And then it also, there's an 8 coin one that says composed, hardened, ordained, or steady. But I'm not actually sure where those are on the sheet, so that might be new.
Yeah. Yeah, we can skip that.
Yeah,
now.
we can just, those don't exist for the moment until I look into what the heck they are. We don't.
All right, so secure, quarters, or do we want to do a training upgrade? Which one sounds more interesting?
I mean, see, that's the thing with the quarters. In my head, Eddie lives on the boat anyway. Like, I've never even considered that Eddie didn't live on the boat.
You do, but you guys are basically sleeping on futon couches and like hammocks.
Yeah.
What would happen if we had our own vault on it?
You would have access to all the. So if you look at where we have the coin right now, there's like this little line. You guys have 4 filled out in the vault. There's this little line, and then there's more after it. That the ones after that line would be open to you.
Yeah, so it makes our vault bigger.
Right.
So we can carry more coin.
Which is always good.
Vault is good. I think we should be chasing a tier upgrade right now. And get something juicy. My vote would be for secure or quarters. I think they're both pretty interesting.
Secure, definitely.
Yeah, we definitely do secure as one of them.
Which gives us the 6 that we need.
If we're counting a turf, you mean?
Secret pathways,
Yes. I'm letting you count your turf.
Cool. Yeah. Okay. So if that's the case.
So spend your 10 and get your secure.
Done. Now, how does that come out of our coin? How many coin are in a vault?
We have 8 coin in here plus the additional 7. So we would need to spend basically 3 out of the vault to get to 10.
3 out. Yeah, there we go. So now we have 5 coin total.
Mm-hmm.
Correct.
Plus whatever we each individually have.
The second you get 1 more rep, you automatically go up to tier 1 at this point.
I think we have a full rep. We're maxed out on rep. The black one is the turf
that
it represents.
Oh, sorry.
The more turf you have, the less rep you need.
I was
There's
seeing it as an
2 on the end that are for turf. The rest of them are rep. It's filled up.
So the 3 steps are your rep track is full. You have a strong hold. We're tier 0 strong. Tier 0 weak would be very embarrassing. And you possess the required number of upgrades and cohorts to advance. When you meet all these requirements, you advance to the next tier and you clear your rep tracker.
Yep. So we are now tier 1 weak.
Yay!
Ta-da-da!
Okay, wait a minute. When I hit the thing to delete our rep, it took the turf away. And when I clicked on the turf button, it brought it all back. So I'm wondering if turf isn't supposed to be rep.
It is.
Turf does. It is. It's just that we have to remember we only have 1 turf, so it really just knocks that last one off.
I mean, you can count rep. You can count turf on based on what's clicked on your little layer thing anyway.
Mm-hmm.
It's all good. Everything's fine.
And then this is like a pretty archaic rule that folks tend to forget. Upon crew advancement, each PC gets stash equal to their tier plus 2. So on your crew sheet, you have your stash sheet as well. So everybody should get 3 coin. I've forgotten that every single time, except for this right now. Yeah, so your personal stash, add 3 into it.
And there's no coin cost to tier up.
There's no coin cost to tier up in deep cuts.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So we spent 10 coin to earn 9. I like that. Okay.
Yeah, I think in non-deep cuts, it would have cost us 4 coin total or I think 8 total to do that. We've spent like 30 so far just to get here.
Oh, so that doesn't go into our personal. That goes into the
stash is your personal one.
Stash is underneath sort of your personal coin. And you see there's like 4 rows of stash. There's like stash, and I think there's like 10, and then a checkbox, and then one underneath that, stash, then a checkbox. Your stash basically represents your quality of personal life. So once you fill out a stash bar, you're like tier 1 life. So you get a little nicer clothes, a little nicer apartment, a little nicer everything. So your quality of life is going up. Once you trauma out, you retire at your life tier. So we're all 0 stash, dead in a gutter, right? And if you fill it up all the way, you own like, a nice little store and a boutique, and you have food and servants and things like that.
Excellent. Okay. Feeling a little more secure and a little more established.
Yeah.
The barge has got a paint job.
A gaping hole in the side. We're like, should really cover up the gaping hole.
Okay. Okay.
I didn't like that.
No, that is
record. Whatever that was, I don't like it.
Unrelated. It's because the tracker that I'm using in Notion for all of you guys' stuff came with some like generic placeholder values. So I have filled in y'all's things, but every once in a while I still find something that's like a generic placeholder. And one of the ones in there, because next is like heat and hold, is like, okay, well, look at who you have a positive reputation with. And the the one in here that's like just a placeholder is like a +1 with the blue coats, and I'm like, I don't think I don't think that that's true.
No.
I don't think so.
Darmot doesn't like us that much.
No. Let's see. You have +1 with the gondoliers.
Mhm. And we have a -1 with the lamp blacks. According to the big display in Roll20.
Oh, this
Probably
is
from burning down their
not-
warehouse.
not correct. Yeah, you're not at war. The lamp blacks really don't like you, but you're not at war with them. Okay, so
War is a -3 reputation.
so
with somebody.
you guys are at -2 with the lamp blacks, and you
Oh.
are at +1 with the gondoliers.
So Baz doesn't like us.
No, not the lamp blacks. The red sashes and the lamp blacks are right next to each other. It should be that you guys are -2 with the red sashes, and you're
Got it.
not anything currently with the lamp blacks. So if you decide to do the favor that he asked for, however that goes will determine your status with the lamp blacks.
Makes
That
sense.
was a typo on my part. Anyway, all that to say, there's not a big heavy hitter crew that you have +2 status with. So reducing heat that way is not a thing.
Gotcha.
You can spend coin or rep to reduce heat now if you want to, but like you guys have just spent a lot of coin and you don't have rep at the moment, so that's probably not what you're going to do with them right now. And then your hold on your tier is measured by turf claims, and you literally just got this tier 5 seconds ago, so
Equal to or greater than your tier, which we do.
yeah. So your crew's hold on their tier is measured by your number of turf claims. To have strong hold on your tier, you must have a number of turf claims equal to or greater than your tier. When your number of turf claims is lower than your tier, your hold is weak. These are new deep cut rules, and it's different than the old rules. So it sounds like you guys are actually tier 1 strong right now.
Yeah.
Wow.
Weird how fast
makes-
that happened.
That
Moving
makes more
on.
sense, because before you just paid an arbitrary amount of money, and it was like, okay, you're strong now, and it didn't really.
You've
I
done
mean,
it.
it made sense, right? Progress equals that, but this is much more thought out.
Yeah. Having assets and a network gives you a stronghold does make sense. Okay,
Yeah, it
so
does.
that's all those things. The last little bit is your character XP and like the downtime phase, you guys' personal, what you guys want to do on your own. So real fast, we're gonna do your character XP here. So one thing I'm literally asking you a new question about playing this game while we're on stream at this exact moment, is because of how the deep cuts rules have changed what like risky and desperate and stuff means, we haven't really done desperate rolls.
Mhm.
And I feel like that's kind of cheating you guys out of getting XP for desperate rolls, and I'm wondering if we might try something else, which is that you get XP when you like fail a roll. Like if you roll like a 1 or a 2, you get XP or something. I think I'd like to try that, because at this point we kind of roll everything about the same, and I think we've done one desperate roll this whole time.
Yeah. We have.
Yeah, the deep cuts rule, it changes it. It says like when you're in a deficit position, 1 through 5 is a fail, 6 is success, and you mark XP regardless of what happens at that point. It's definitely different. I guess it's easier than position effect for every single thing. So yeah, we are down a little bit. It just, to me, it just makes for a grittier game, which isn't necessarily a bad thing.
Yeah, I mean, that's something to talk about, just depending on how dark we want it to get, because if you want to get that XP, you're going to have to do rolls where basically you have, what is it, a 5% chance to actually succeed.
Mhm.
You always
I
push
don't know.
yourself, get it up to a juicy 10.
Ooh, 10% chance. So yeah, that's something to discuss, because I do recognize that right now you guys are not getting that XP in your like insight and prowess and stuff, and you want that. So we're gonna have to figure it out. But anyway, that aside, we're gonna start here with Barney, who was our life of the party at the score. Playbook advancement for you. Did you address a challenge with knowledge or arcane power?
I said no to that. I really don't think his arcane knowledge really didn't come into play.
You did not even pierce the veil, the whole party.
Not at all. Yeah.
I don't remember what it's called in Duskfall, but
I was about to say, wrong game.
look into the ghost field. That's what it is.
Mhm.
Scott knows
Shout out
exactly.
Jay Sonya.
Like, I just went bloodlines of black magic up in here. Yeah. You didn't, which I was prepared for you to. And then you expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background.
That I think I did.
Do you remember which of those?
Well, the whole. Oh no, not just the discussions about the Red Skull and all that, but
that's your vice.
Getting into the argument with Hawk over the mask.
True. Okay. Yeah. So the mask thing. So your vice. I'm gonna go ahead and give you one for that one, but your drive there with the mask, because you're like going against your crew's wishes, I'm gonna give you 2 because I think that's fun. So it looks like you're sitting pretty with 3 XP for that one. Brandon, let's look at Vale.
Mm-hmm.
Did you address a challenge with deception or influence? And did you do it with a really bad accent?
I've heard a lot of feedback that it was an awesome accent.
Oh no, I think it was great. Where the accent is from is of no consequence.
Yeah, somewhere not around. Yeah, that was kind of the whole score. It was just that.
Yeah, I loved that. I thought that was great. And I would like to give you 2 for that one, because you deceptioned and influenced the whole time. I especially liked the, oh, you're such a good, oh, I can't, this guy's breaking my balls over here. I guess I'll give you more. It was like really funny to me.
I'm a haggler.
Yeah, definitely a good businessman. Your beliefs, drives, heritage, or background?
Not really. No, I think he was in character the whole time, and I don't think there was a bit of authenticity that came out of him.
Your vice or traumas? You have like
No.
a million traumas, so I don't even remember what all of them are.
They are reckless and obsessed. I think he was pretty cool and in control the whole time. I don't think that he really bent into, self-destructive for the crew.
And your vice, once again, is weird. That didn't come up this time either.
Nope.
You were a good boy, Vale. Weird. All right, let's look at the Hawk. So, did you address a challenge with stealth or evasion?
Yep.
You guys got around the there was some servants looking for you, I think.
Yeah, there was a butler when we left the vault. There was a butler up there, but
you definitely expressed your beliefs, drives, heritage, and background, because you believe and you are driven to not have that masquerade mask. So even though it could be worth money, you wanted to leave it behind, and even when the rest of your crew wanted it, you wanted to throw it in the river, and I feel that's pretty on brand for the Hawk. Did you struggle with issues from your vice or traumas? I don't think you have any traumas.
No. No, we could have played something. I didn't even think about that. We could have played something with the coffee thing in a fancy party. There could have been coffee there. That could have been a thing, but I had never. That's one of my blind spots in this game, is I don't even think about that being an XP thing. You know, if I just put that in, if I just said there's a coffee bar over there, but that's not how I think of games. So that's a
Um,
blind
it would
spot.
have been easy to come up in this one, but you two pretty much immediately went downstairs,
Yeah.
so you didn't have much opportunity to do party things, which I understand happens.
So that puts me at full. The XP down there is full. So now what does that mean? What do I
It means
do
you
now?
can pick another special ability.
Oh,
Yep. So we are going to move into other people's downtime. So you have an opportunity to like look through those and kind of pick one and see which one of those you want, and we can come back to you. So for the moment, we started with Barney for XP. So let's go ahead and start our downtime activities. Well, first of all, everybody, if you have level 1 harm, you lose it. If you have a safe place to rest, add 1 tick to your healing clock, which you do. You have a safe boat. Yeah.
do
So
what now? What are we talking about?
If you have level 1 harm, remove it. It's gone.
Okay, yeah, I don't have harm. I've got plenty of stress.
Yeah, we'll get to your stress in a minute, but if anybody has harm, it's gone. So now you have your 2 downtime activities. You can indulge your vice, you can acquire an asset, you can recover, train, or work. And then I didn't actually get to the part where long-term projects are on here. I know you guys also have some long-term projects, but that seems to be like a thing that doesn't take an action now? Question mark? So I'm going to assume that you have 2 actions and your long-term project is just kind of a free play thing. And if it comes up that you need to, spend coin or owe someone a favor or whatever in order to get what you want when we get there, then we'll handle that kind of separate.
I thought you still have to spend time on an action that just automatically advances 2 or 3 ticks, regardless of what you do. There's no rolling for it anymore.
It wasn't in the same part of the book as downtime.
Yeah, I think that's how we did it last time. Brandon was pretty good with explaining it.
Frustrating.
Yeah.
But I'm assuming that at least someone is probably going to start by indulging your vice, right? Like, that seems...
Mm-hmm. And then, Jenna, do you want to kind of go with the sort of original indulge your vice sort of method, which is, the traditional way you roll, you kind of see what happens. The deep cuts one is just you spend 1 coin, you clear all your stress.
Wait, what? Really?
Deep cuts is just, you spend 1 coin, you clear all your stress. It's just for the sake of making things faster.
Yeah. I think that I want to give you guys the option to choose. So if you are in a position where your character is just absolutely done and you want to just spend the coin and get it over with, your character can do that.
But if you're over 6,
yeah,
if you're over 6 of stress, you overindulge regardless.
Right. But you can also choose to roll for it and see how it goes. I feel like we can pick one or the other.
Makes sense.
I like dice rolls, so
they're fun.
Everyone likes dice.
Yeah.
Sometimes that's not what you want, and sometimes you don't have the coin to do it anyway. So, ¿por qué no los dos? So Brandon, how do you want to handle this? What would you like to do? Would you like to roll for it or spend a coin?
Oh, I'm gonna roll for sure. And Vale's actually never indulged his vice before, because he's always traumatized out and hasn't had the need to.
Oh, I forgot about that. Yeah, you always. Oh, yeah.
Yeah. So I would like to indulge my vice, and what I would like to do is to pay a visit to Caro.
Okay. So we have a chance to decide what that looks like. We can kind of massage the fiction of what happened to him. So one option if it sounds fun to you, is that you kind of have to pretend that you're getting into the Church of Ecstasy in order to go down there and pay respects. So the church itself becomes your vice purveyor, even though it's not really the Church of Ecstasy, it's the ghost that's in the catacombs down there. But it could also be that this urn is sort of like a sticky flypaper or mousetrap situation, where once a ghost is in there, they kind of toss it back out into the dark hallway and put a new one. And you go down into the catacombs near the ghost well. There's options for what this looks like for you.
Yeah, I think he'll just go down kind of into the catacombs, and he would eventually like to get Caro out, and into the world. He wants to set up some sort of long-term body sharing situation with Caro.
Timeshare.
Timeshare kind of situation, and he really wants to go to a Rag Skulla game with Barney as Caro. So he can feel the excitement without having to like learn all the rules and stuff, which are complicated.
Yeah, I love that for you. I'm just gonna go ahead and put that clock in now. Is Caro is freed, and I will keep track of that. Since it's a long-term project where you guys would have opportunity to study the object in question and use careful tools and stuff, and you're not in a situation where you have 5 seconds or you will die, I'm going to go ahead and make that a 4, just because it's not as time sensitive as it was like in that moment.
You want me to put it on screen or no?
It's a long-term clock. I don't think we need it on the screen right now, but if it becomes relevant, we'll kind of do it then. But I love that for you. I think that would be so much fun. And I think Barney would probably enjoy it too, having a buddy to go watch the games with.
Yeah. So in the interim though, he's going to go down there, and he's going to. I think he and Caro left on a bit of a bad foot, with trying to steal his soul. But he's gotten over it, and I think he wants to sort of allow their spirits to cohabitate with each other. And I really think he likes the rush of feeling a little out of control. It's like being on a roller coaster, and I think what he's trying to do is to sort of build a bond and be like, look, this can be a permanent thing. Like you can't have me for keepsies, but like, let's work out a situation. I like this. You like having feet again, I presume. And yeah, I think that's kind of what they're working towards.
And Brandon, also what you could possibly throw into the mix is that weeping wound on your chest may still prevent him from getting into you, and maybe that's what you have to fix.
Yeah, that's great. Yeah.
You're muted.
You just lost your audio, Jen.
Sorry. I muted myself while I was shaking up my drink and then forgot to unmute. So there's 2 things going on. One, you have your chest wound is like in the shape of a sigil.
Mm-hmm.
And that was on purpose, but now it's kind of, you're covered in ghost hand sanitizer, basically.
Mm.
And the other thing is that he's stuck in this urn. With time and attention, and especially if you get help from some of your spooky friends, getting him out of the urn isn't necessarily going to be an issue. But right now, at this moment, you're in the catacombs with him. Maybe your bite took the urn back to the spirit well. And at the moment, what you can do with him is sort of communicate the way that, in like Disney's Aladdin, they can like hold the lamp and talk to the genie.
Mm-hmm.
That's sort of where you are right now.
Yeah.
He can almost like make some kind of rattling sounds in there, and he can talk to you, and it's a little bit muffled when he talks, but he can't get out right now, but later maybe he could.
Yeah, and I think he's whispering to him about the what's on the other side of the veil, and the cracks in space, and the bright lights that we're seeing on the other side, and the people, and he's just obsessed with all of those kind of secrets. I think it's it's really sexy. There's a lot of cigarettes on long sort of handles. Yeah, so that's it. So without going into too many of the details before he's free, yeah, that's what he's going to be doing to indulge his vice.
Perfect. I love it. Please give me a roll.
I did. That is 3 stress removed.
All right. So you can try and indulge your vice again. You're very new to this. You've never had to indulge it before. Outside of how very indulgent you've been on the scores.
Yeah, I'll do it again. Sure. I think I don't think he knows when to quit because I have a feeling where this is going to go. Oh no, that is clearing all of his stress exactly. He rolled a 5.
Woo!
He is stress free.
Woo! Nice. And then while I switch to someone else, would you mind looking through, see if you can find the long-term project rules in the Deep Cuts book? Because I can't find it anywhere.
I pasted it in Discord. It's literally 2 sentences. So
when you spend an activity to work on it, okay. That was the part that I wasn't sure about. So the ticks happens automatically, but choosing to do it is still an activity. Okay.
Right.
All right.
We do have a workshop, so you do get that extra tick as well.
Mm-hmm. You cleared your stress perfectly, and I am going to give you a treat and put 1 tick on your get him out of his urn clock.
Thanks.
Yes, I am very nice. So I'm gonna give you 1. You are welcome. So let's move on to Barney here. What are your first downtime action? What would you like to do?
Barney, the last time he went to Rexgulla game, it was not very satisfying. The Bulls lost. It was an awful game. I caught Skog cheating. Was not at all relaxing. And then I had to go to a party where I was very uncomfortable. And then I got confronted by 2 awful Rexgulla fans that are not Bull fans. I just want to go and watch the Bulls win. One thing, just to relieve stress. So I am going to be relieving stress. I do have a second thing I want to do there, and I don't know if it's part of that or if it's a project or whatever, but I want to find who's making or who's paying Skog to cheat. Like I want to get to the heart of that and muck with it.
Gotcha. Yeah. I love that. Go ahead and indulge your vice, and we'll kind of also use that as a bit of a luck roll to see how it goes as far as finding a person.
Yeah, because I want the Bricks and Bruisers to go down. 5. So that's helpful. Down to 3.
Nice.
Yeah. That's a much better situation.
I mean, yeah. That does sound much better. Okay. So you have a great time at the game. They win. I mean, it's not a, they didn't clear house the way the Eagles did, but they won.
That also made me happy, by the way.
You were not a Chiefs fan. And so
I'm an Eagles season ticket holder, so that was a very good game for me. But
there's the Duskfall equivalent of some kind of, we'll call it a tailgate, but it's not really. How the tailgate kind of works in Duskfall is that you're in the slums, right? So you have a couple the equivalent of like those fire escape tiny rickety stairs, tiny teeny balconies and windows that barely open or maybe are just barred. So the ropes are kind of all hanging between those, and instead of a tailgate where you guys are on the back of trucks, it's a bunch of people hanging out on like different levels of the fire escape. So you kind of have a good view of a lot of what's going on, and you're kind of having a good time, and your team won, and the other people around you are like cheering and rah, and like you got the team spirit going. And yeah, you I think are able to kind of have a good time, but also notice who stayed around for the after party and who kind of left with the other team. I don't remember which team I said Skog was on. I have it written down.
Bruisers.
The Bruisers, yeah. Who left with them and who seemed to be kind of in what would be the equivalent of like box seats, and you had a chance to kind of look at like who's really making like the big ticket. That's the thing. You go to place a small bet so that you can try and who's placing big bets.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell that I'm making this up as I speak, that I'm changing what I'm saying?
Yep.
Anyway, so there is a
I figure somebody's making money off of Skog, getting Skog to cheat. I'm trying to find that source. Yeah.
The one of the bigger, the heavier bets that you notice for the Bulls was by a man named Peyton Bear.
Okay.
And it obviously they don't have like tons and tons of information that they keep, but the one thing they have the bet, the stakes, the name, and then a general like the description of where to find that person. And this person can apparently be found in Charter Hall. So you get the idea that if for some reason the bookie needed to come collect money, that's where they would, so just literally just Charter Hall is all that's next to it. But you get the feeling that maybe this is some sort of like government official or something like that, because Charter Hall's kind of civic offices.
Right.
Okay. Yes. So there is that. And if you wanted to find out more about him, you could
start a project.
Yeah. But for now, that's your lead that you get. Okay. And we will do your second activity here in a second. Scott, have you figured out what looks like you picked the Devil's Footsteps?
Oh, yes. Didn't take me long. When I push myself, I can choose one of the following additional benefits. Perform a feat of athletics that verges on the superhuman, or maneuver to confuse your enemies so they mistakenly attack each other.
All right. Great. I will have to throw more physical fights at you so that you can use that.
Great.
Do you have an idea of what you would like your first downtime activity to be?
I got to do something about the stress. I was thinking about just paying the coin and just wiping it all out.
You are very welcome to do that too. We can just say you have a lovely evening with Tommy Fivetone. He was very pleased and thankful that no matter what else happened at the party, there was no connection with him. Nothing. He had no problems. You guys didn't cause a scene that, connected to his bartenders or anything. So.
Do you overindulge when you do that, or do you have 6 stress?
It's because when you spend 1 coin, you clear all of your stress.
I have 7, but yeah, I'm not indulging my vice. I'm paying a coin to wipe it clean.
Right, but it says if your stress level was 6 or more, you overindulge.
Oh, yeah. Let's see. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Yeah, so you would, if you paid the coin, you would automatically overindulge.
And what does that mean?
One of these things on the list of bad stuff can happen. You can choose which of the bad things it is, or you can roll, because even if you roll, the highest you can possibly roll is a 6, and you would not be able to overindulge if you rolled it, but you would also have a chance of not clearing as much stress.
Okay, no, I'm not going to do that then. I'll just roll it. I'll indulge vice and roll it.
Yeah, sure.
I guess.
Yeah, once I'm understanding that wording, that does make sense that there's still some
consequence.
Yeah. Okay. I think that I was misunderstanding what that meant before. But reading comprehension when you're not on your meds.
Okay, so I relieved 4 stress, so I'm down to 3 now.
Okay, yeah. So you and Barney both have one more downtime action. You can indulge your vices again. You can acquire an asset. You can recover, train, work, or work on a long-term project.
We do have a long-term project, I believe, that's about halfway filled out, which came from Caro, which was some sort of dream of a massive underground vault. If the two of you don't feel like spending of your time on that, totally fine. I was going to ask and see if I could spend a crew coin for another downtime activity to finalize that, but it's out there right now. It might be an investment, 1 coin for maybe many more.
But
coins.
is that on the cruise sheet?
I think it's next to Vale's name on his.
Sorry, I've been keeping track of the clocks on my own personal tracker. I have been very bad about updating them on Roll20. Right now, you guys have 3 clocks as your kind of crew clocks. One of them is Barney deciphering Nettle's notes. You are at 3 out of 8. Mm-hmm. The other is called Vale follows the red vault. You are at 3 out of 8 on that one. And Caro is freed is the last one. You are at 1 out of 4.
The pie on the stream fails at 4 of 8. So I don't know which one's accurate.
Oh, it's at 4 of 8? Okay.
Yeah,
okay,
well, you said you gave him a tick on it for his downtime a while ago, so I bumped it up.
Oh no, that was a different clock. That was the new clock, right?
Yeah, that was free Caro. Should have gotten a tick.
Mm-hmm. I will go ahead and add some clocks onto your carry-in crew sheet on Roll20 so you guys can see them. That I should have been doing that before.
Yeah, now I need a new clock to find out who this person is too.
Mm-hmm.
Peyton Bear. So I have 2 clocks. Vale has 2 clocks.
Okay. I'm
actually going to use my second to train.
Sure.
I really do want to work on those clocks, but I feel like I need training. Barney is not feeling physically up to speed with the other guys at all, so he's going to try and work his prowess.
All right, that works for me. So I have all of your clocks on here on the crew sheet. The reason I put it on the crew sheet instead of like having them separate is because if you guys wanted to do something to work on each of them, you can. I'm not going to say that only Barney is allowed to study Nettle's notes or ask other people about what's going on with her or whatever. Like any of you could do some research or seeking people out, espionage, whatever. Like anybody can work on these. So, yeah. Training sounds very reasonable. You said you're going to train in what now?
Prowess. So, okay. And
Remember,
I'm actually going to ask. That. Yeah, that's one of the reasons I want to do it. And B, like I said, I figure I'm going to be asking Hawk. Like, I need finesse training. I need to figure out how to do this better. So, Hawk, can you train me?
Yeah. What is it you're wanting to? What is it you're wanting to do?
Like I said, I need to be more skillful in how I move and how I.
He needs to be swift as a coursing river, and with all the force of a great typhoon.
Someone's been watching Disney movies.
Okay. Till the day I die, baby.
She does have a toddler in the house, so
yeah.
No, actually, because there's a toddler in the house, I've been watching Mickey Mouse Clubhouse, and I cannot describe to you how the Hot Diggity Dog song has been in my head all day. You guys think you're being
It's
hardened
been
criminals, but the soundtrack for this is hot dog, cat, diggity dog. Yeah.
It's been years since I heard that one. Yeah.
Oh, it's fine without it. You're fine
I
without
have
it.
enough nieces and nephews that it has not been years since I heard it. I don't have to
But I
hear it in
will
this
say-
house anymore, but when I go home to Alabama, I have to hear it constantly.
That my toddler does sing and dance along to the
There
Mickey
you
Mouse
go.
songs, so that makes it worth it.
We know
Anyway,
you do too.
So go ahead and hit your 2
2 levels in prowess.
yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
And then yeah, how does the hawk train Barney? Are you trying to
In
are you like
finesse.
Mr.
Yeah.
Miyagi? If you're like, yeah, go
Yeah,
wash my
got me
car.
up,
Like
you know.
what
Yeah,
does
I make him scrub the deck of the boat.
wax on, wax off?
Yeah, somebody's got to get those barnacles off the bottom of it.
Barnacles.
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 Ew.
No, I mean, I'm sure I could teach him. You know, like, are you wanting to be sneaky, stealthy,
Finesse.
or
I'm working on finesse
Okay.
specifically. That's where I'm
well,
going.
then yeah, he can definitely give you some tips on like working through a room, and being in a crowd and not being in a crowd, like just being invisible amongst a sea of people. Because
Tip
that is
1,
definitely one of
don't
his
start
things.
spouting poetry.
He can just he just blends in. One of the main tricks is to not draw attention to yourself. That's rather
Doesn't
important.
work.
With these masks and these eyes and all this stuff that you've been getting into lately, that is a thing that draws attention. So if you're wanting to be more invisible, you need to kind of curb that, or at least know when to curb.
keep that stuff hidden is what you're saying.
Yeah, keep it on the down low,
All right.
not up
I
here
will-
where everybody can see it. You don't have to advertise it.
Understood.
Actually, from what I've found, the more quiet and stealthy you are, the more people are willing to give you, because they don't think you're watching.
I will take that to heart. And that's
So
probably
that's-
after the training and after that lesson, he does quietly sneak the piece onto the boat. He wants me to keep it quiet, so I'm going to keep it quiet and hide it somewhere safe on the boat.
That's really great. I love that for you.
I want to train in something else, but getting those 2 in prowess, I mean, prowess is my main kind of gig, so being able to bump those 2 up, that would be a good thing. Well, if I bump, I don't get 2 in anything else. I only get 1 in the other 2, so.
That's kind of why I was suggesting changing how we get XP from, instead of desperate rolls, maybe doing it when you fail. Hopefully it's a mistake you learn from. With this crew, probably not, but what did you learn? Nothing. And I'll do it again.
Yeah, I mean, I guess what like, maybe he would, while they're talking, since Barney reached out to him for help, he might ask for help with resolve. Not attune, but no, not resolve. Insight.
I'm fairly good at that.
So you guys are helping each other out?
Yeah. Yeah.
I
You
like
can
that.
work and study and survey. Yeah. Put the analytical, scientific mind to.
Yeah,
To
I
get
would
him to
like to
start
have
thinking
something
differently.
in study. I would like to have a dot in study. I have survey and tinker. I would like to have study. So yeah, that'll give me one mark up to
Well,
getting
here,
a
I want
level
you to
up.
read Nettle's notes.
Oh God.
Yeah, so that is my next question, because we're coming up on 10 o'clock, so we're almost done here. But you can spend coin to have one additional action. So if you guys want to look at some of these clocks, we can do that quick.
I've got a quick one for you, Jenna. Can I throw you into a scene really quickly?
Do it.
Okay, so yeah, Vale has his crazy Sherlock Holmes sort of notes that he has been using to trace down where the Red Vault is. And he is in Silk Shore, and he's dressed in black. Only his eyes are open. He's got like the full ninja mask on, and he's got someone up against the wall, and he's the guy's got a black eye. He's bleeding out of his nose, and Vale has a sap, and he's just hitting him again and again. And he puts the notes right up in his face, and he says, "For the last time, is what's here correct or incorrect? Yes or no? Correct or incorrect? Just say it."
And like his eyes all swollen, and he's like, "I wish you would have asked me before you, but I don't know. I can't see it."
Bam! And he hits him again, and he says, "Look at me. Correct or incorrect?"
That part is a little bit down, but like mostly I think you got it.
And Vale will use his brand new ability, like looking into a mirror. Is he lying or not lying?
Sorry, the notes that you are showing him are a map, you said?
It doesn't matter. It's just something. It's like it's Vale's collection of assumptions so far about the Red Veil or the Red Vault.
So this guy's definitely lying through his teeth, and you can like smell it on him. He's lying because he's afraid of someone else more than he's afraid of you.
Yeah, and Vale just says, "It's been an absolute pleasure," and he just goes boom, and he knocks him out, and he kicks his body a couple of times, and he walks out of there. And if I think the way it works right now, could we just add 2 ticks onto that clock at that point, because that was action rating?
Mm-hmm. So now you are at 5 out of 8.
So that's the one that's on his
on the character
screen?
sheet. I have updated it on my Notion, and now I will update it on the...
Yes, that's the one on the stream, Scott.
Okay, I didn't realize that you guys had them on the stream too. That's cool. Yeah, so it's updated now on Roll20 and on my Notion. My Notion is the one that I focus more on, because that's where I, like, before stream, go to figure out what it is that needs to happen next. Frustrating. Again, this guy did not help you, and it's so... who is it? Who is it that is hiding something from you? Where is this thing? And it keeps you up for a while, honestly. Like, it's ridiculous that you don't seem like you're getting anywhere. Like, whatever this thing is doesn't seem to exist, but you know it does. And whoever knows about it is nobody's talking, but someone's got to talk. And eventually you fall asleep and you have another dream about this. And it is another dream that is somehow a memory to you. And you remember vaguely and dreamily. It's not exactly a memory, right? It's a dream version of kind of going down into the catacombs and wandering around, trying to, like, the red vault door is behind you, and you're wandering away from it. You're trying to get away from it, and every time you turn, you're back at the red vault, but you're trying to get out. You're trying to get through these catacombs away from this door, because something can see you. Something saw you and knew that you were down there.
Yeah, and Vale wakes up with that in his mind, and he sits up and he just goes, "I should have hit that man harder."
That would have fixed it. Yeah, 5 out of 8. You're almost done. With our last couple minutes, are there any other clocks that you guys want to spend 1 coin to work on?
I don't think so. I think we got enough boiling for next time. And I'm trying to time the Nettle thing if they're ever going to come, if those characters are ever going to come back. So I don't want to progress that to the point where we want to advance it and they're not here.
This clock for deciphering Nettle's notes is not the same as magically being able to bring Nettle back. There are other things you're going to need to do, and other people and factions and stuff. So don't be afraid. I got you.
Okay.
I won't let you push Allie's hand. I promise.
Okay.
But we'll do those two have plans. Those two have built a whole lore that doesn't concern any of us. So
awesome.
I guess
yet
kind of the last piece of action, just so you know, Jenna has more than literally 0 seconds. Is there any score that's floating out there that sounds interesting to anybody right now? I'm excited just to go right back to Bazo and get mixed up in the War in Crowsfoot and the Red Sashes and all of that. Like, that would be a very powerful ally to have.
Well, we've got the guy that met us at the end of the walking out of the party last night.
Oh, right, right, of course.
Yeah, I was looking at that one.
Yeah, that sounds great.
Despite all of my work and speeches, Darmot still draws breath. So that is also a thing. But I don't know which would be more important, Bazo or the other guy. I feel like they're both kind of critical.
Well, let me give you a lead. When you, Vale, wake up from that dream, you have the same, just on the tip of my tongue, I feel like I almost remembered something. It's that same feeling that you had when Osmond was talking to you guys. That same, it's almost, I almost, so maybe they're connected. Bazo is just a good old-fashioned man with a gun who wants to do gun things to other people who have guns. I mean, it's just a classic romp through Duskfall. So it's really up to y'all.
Then I say we go with the lead of the person who approached us right after the party then.
The Osmond Reed, yeah.
Yeah.
Okay. I'm in favor of that.
Just a reminder on that one, Osmond Reed asked you he needs a very specific tome that is in a library in the Lost District, which now the government of Duskfall is trying to fix the Lost Districts and bring it back into have a lightning barrier around it too, but that hasn't happened yet. There's plans for it. You keep hearing there's plans for it, the way that government plans go, but it hasn't happened yet. So the Lost District is still outside of the lightning barriers, and it is still covered in ghost ghouls, horrors, all sorts of nonsense. But the Lost District is also, for those of you who are not familiar with Duskfall lore, used to be the rich fancy part of town, and the rich fancy people had to flee. So it is full of all sorts of antique treasures that you cannot get, that are not made. There's all sorts of priceless jewels and art and finery, and probably the clothing and fabric has worn away at this point. It's been long enough, but I mean, there could be wine cellars. There's riches to be had for those willing to make to potentially make that risky journey into the Lost District. So it's more than just this book. This could serve you particularly well. But it's hella haunted.
Hey, you know, we just teared up. We're feeling good about ourselves. We can handle it.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so that is what I will prep for next time, and we can go from there. I do have one last thing before we leave that nobody asked for. Barney, after your fitful sleep, a long night of revelry and climbing light poles on Franklin Street in Philadelphia.
Go birds.
Go birds.
Go birds.
Birds.
Yeah, my brother was in Philly, so he's like sending me snaps of like the people around him just being obnoxious. He's having a great time. My family's from up there. Anyway, so you had a fantastic night and your team won and you made some like friends kinda and you had a great time. You are sleeping so peacefully, unlike Vale, who's in the hammock next to you, tossing and turning and like cussing in his sleep. But you have this dream as well. There's it's almost just a sound. There isn't something to go with it, but it's almost like an echo, like a calling, that sort of like comes out, almost like sonar from under the boat, and then you can feel it wash over you, and then like return back to where it came from. You have this sort of like, and the longer the sound happens, and you just, I mean, this is, as far as you're concerned, a sleep paralysis demon. Like, there's nothing you can do about it right now. You're just, I guess demon and Duskfall mean something different, right? But the longer you let it happen, the longer you kind of get almost a silhouette outline sort of picture of what this is coming from. And you can see hazily, dimly beneath the boat, the bare silhouette of this huge electroplasmic eel that is just sort of circling directly under you patiently. And every time it sort of like sends out a ping, it hits you and then goes back and then ping, 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 and then hits and ping, 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 ping.
Okay. All right.
Cool.
I like that. We're going to start seeing what's going on in the boat. I love it.
You did ward the boat. The boat is protected.
Mm-hmm.
But it's looking. I have plans. Yeah, so that's it, everybody. That is our downtime. We are officially tier 1 strong, baby. We set nothing on fire. We got no more traumas. There is coin to spare and secrets to uncover. I would call this a success. So if you're interested in seeing how the Lost District goes, you can join us next Tuesday for same bat time, same bat channel, that score. If you're looking for something a little bit different, but kind of the same.
I was about to say, are we doing Valentine's thing next Tuesday? I thought there was a discussion about Valentine's thing.
You think I can't make Valentine's into a...
Yeah.
I thought we were doing something special that was not this.
I think tomorrow night is the special.
Okay.
In my head.
Continue.
Yes. Valentine's Day is near and dear to all of our hearts here in our Duskfall. Valentine's Day is the preeminent holiday. And yes, I will have some Valentine's Day themed goodies for you in the Lost District. However, if you can't wait that long, I'm going to pass it over to Brandon to give you a little bit of a sample of what you might find if you tune in tomorrow on the
Oh, man. Random Encounters Guild, you don't even know. So tomorrow night, for one night only, maybe, we are going to be playing the playtest of Blades in the Dark 68. So take all the Victorian steampunkiness that you love and fast forward it 120 years to the age of reason and sexy hats and frivolous tops. Yeah, and music that people said was good at the time, but everybody born like after 82 was like, what? So we're going to be playing Blades in the Dark 68. So we are going, I see you. We're going to be playing Blades in the Dark 68. We're going be assembling this crew plus one special guest into a sexy caper that will be far out psychedelic and groovy. We're going to be going through this, running it fast and loose, and having a good time, and putting this new system to the test and seeing what we can do with it, and really just trying to have a lot of fun. So I really hope people can join us. It's going to be pretty cool.
I will
Scott,
be a player.
Yes. And Guildmaster
Brandon
Scott
has made the colossal
amazing
rookie
games.
mistake of allowing Jenna to play in this.
I will say, as always, I know what the problems are. You will have to figure out the solutions, and I'm very excited to learn what they are as you come up with them.
Oh, honey, I'm the problem.
Yes, it's going to be a great time. I worked on the overlays and getting everything set up right up until like starting this tonight. So it's going to be a good time. One way or the other, we're going to have a good time. Now, if we actually discover this fabled one shot that I still don't believe exists, it's like the Loch Ness monster. I don't think one shots are actually a real thing. So if we can pull that off, it will be a minor miracle here on the channel.
This will be a one shot. This will absolutely be a one
We'll
shot.
see.
He says that every time, and every time I've run Siren Squad, it has always been a one shot because I run a tight ship, and you are a coward and don't just kill all your people if they're taking too long.
But yeah, so we'll have Blade 68 tomorrow night, and that's at 7:45 Central. Which seems odd, but that's what's on the schedule.
That was the time that folks were free.
Okay. I mean, I'm fine with that, but it just when I saw it, it's like 7:45. But yeah, we're cool with that. Is that okay with you, Jenna?
Caleb can put her to bed.
Okay. So
Honestly,
we'll have that, and
she asks for
then
Daddy anyway, and she throws a fit if I try and read her books. He's just better at reading books. I don't know. Whatever. I just pay for life.
We'll have that
specialties
tomorrow night, and then this coming Sunday night we start our Alien game, Alien Chariot of the Gods, and then Monday night we will be playing Symbaroum. We had to cancel last night because of technical things and stuff going on. We're transitioning away from that VTT and moving to my beloved Fantasy Grounds. And that should make everything go okay. But so instead of starting this week and going every other week, it's starting this coming Monday and then going every other week. So, and then after that, we'll be back here on Tuesday night for more Blades. Looks like the Lollygaggers are playing their Perils and Princesses game, so we're going to give them a raid. I guess we've covered everything. Anybody else have anything they would like to say before we sign off?
Good night.
All right, yeah. Say good night, everybody.
Good night, everybody.
Good
See
night.
you tonight.